I was sitting with this client having coffee, someone who we actually met through this YouTube channel that was considering moving to Surrey, and they were just absolutely peppering me with every question you could imagine under the sun about whether Surrey is a good place to live. They wanted to know the pros and the cons about living in the neighborhood. Now, if you're someone that's considered moving to Surrey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A quick Google search of the area will bring up everything about living in Surrey. Let's be honest, let's be frank. Surrey has a little bit of a rap, and some of it valid and totally justified, and some of it probably a little bit blown out of proportion. But this got me thinking, what a great video for you if you're someone that's considering relocating to the area to know all the pros and cons about living in Surrey. So that's exactly what we're going to get into in today's video. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to let you know what the client I met with this morning has decided about their future in this city. If that sounds good, let's get into it. My name is Darren, a realtor and the team leader with the German Group from McDonald Realty in Surrey, BC. If you're new to this channel, well, you've stumbled across a channel that is everything to do with living in the areas of Surrey, White Rock, and South Surrey in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia. If you want to be notified and the first to know of everything that's going on in these areas, as well as anything related to real estate news in British Columbia, and frankly, there's always a lot going on, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you're one of the first to be updated each time we release a new video. We get calls and texts every single day from people just like you looking to relocate to the neighborhoods that our real estate team serves. So if you're considering moving in the next 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, be sure to book a time to speak with us in the description or the pinned comment, and we would love to see what we can do to help you make your move or relocation to Surrey or any of the areas we service a smooth one. All right, so before you move absolutely anywhere, you want to get the complete skinny on everything you need to know about whether it's an intelligent move for you, for your family. And it's probably fair to say that you would love to have that information from a local. Well, here we are. I'm a local of Surrey. I live in Surrey, and I've lived and serviced and worked in Surrey for the majority of my life. In fact, I've been selling real estate since 2007. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but you can probably guess. So needless to say, we have spent a ton of time in every single neighborhood and every single crevice of the city of Surrey. And this video is going to give you the pros and cons of the biggest things that I think you need to know about when you relocate to the area. Furthermore, don't forget to check out our Living in Surrey playlist, where we go into complete detail on so many other things you need to know about living in the city of Surrey if you're someone who's considering relocating here. Enough talking though in that regard, let's talk about the pros and cons about the city of Surrey that you need to know. Starting with the pros, the first one that came to mind is how central living in Surrey really is when you're comparing to the rest of the Lower Mainland. Let's be honest, the Lower Mainland is humongous. You know, if we're talking about the Lower Mainland, this could be anywhere from Whistler all the way to Chilliwack, which is quite the distance. Luckily for the residents of Surrey, Surrey's located smack dab in the middle of the Lower Mainland, which means you have relatively short commutes to anywhere that you need to go, whether it be the airport, downtown Vancouver, Burnaby, Abbotsford. You also get some perks from the centralness of the city of Surrey. This is things like being close to the border if you want to go down into the United States. You've got relatively easy highway access to get out of town, whether you're going into the Okanagan or up towards the Whistler area. You're also relatively close to the ocean and the beaches, so whether you're going for recreation or you're going for a boat trip or want to jump on a ferry to get out of town, there's really no need to go far when you live in Surrey because you are smack dab in the middle of it all. The second on our list for the list of pros of living in Surrey, well, Surrey's nickname is called the City of Parks, and you don't just get a nickname like that unless you are absolutely packed to the rim with amazing parks. There is tons of nature in Surrey, so much that I'm going to try and sum it up in one quick fact. Surrey has an expansive network of parks and trails, gardens, and green spaces totaling over 6,000 acres. 6,000 acres. If you don't know how big that is, it's huge. Even just jumping on the City of Surrey's websites to see how expansive this outdoor space is that the residents absolutely love having access to and from living here, they list 6 prestigious garden areas, 2 lakes, 25 substantial parks, and 11 networks of trails. If you love the outdoors and you love being outside, you're going to absolutely love Surrey. The next on our list of pros for living in Surrey is relatively affordable, at least compared to other areas of British Columbia. Let me put this into a little bit of perspective. At the time of filming this video, the benchmark price of a home for a detached home in Surrey was just over $1.6 million. But how does that compare to the rest of the Lower Mainland? Well, Vancouver came in at almost $2.6 million. Burnaby was just over $2 million. And Richmond came in at over $2.1 million. Now, if you're from somewhere out of town, like maybe other areas of Canada or other areas of the world, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, $1.6 million, that is a ton of money. And it is a ton of money, don't get me wrong. But in comparison to other areas of the Lower Mainland, Surrey basically is on sale. But that's not all that you need to think of when you move to Surrey in terms of cost of living. So what is it like to live in Surrey versus, let's say, Vancouver? According to the website Numbeo, rent prices in Surrey are 16.3% lower than Vancouver. Restaurant prices are 21.2% lower. Grocery prices are 18.6% lower, and fitness club memberships are 144% lower in Surrey. Of course, there's other considerations that you need to think about, but I think you get the point. It is much more affordable to live in Surrey. The cost of living is much better than other areas of the Lower Mainland in British Columbia. The fourth pro on our list is Surrey is an incredible investment, and I'm going to prove it to you. Here's why. Let's imagine for a moment that you're considering buying a home in Surrey. BC statistics project that Surrey's population is going to overtake that of Vancouver by the year 2029, just 5 years away. Now, consider the last stat that I just shared with you about the cost of living and how much less expensive it is to live in Surrey than it is in Vancouver. Not only should you be considering the cost of living, think of the cost of real estate and just about everything else, including the transit investments that are coming to Surrey, like the new Surrey to Langley SkyTrain due to be completed in 2028. So you're going to have an equal population by 2029 with a significant discount on general living expenses in the city of Surrey. So you've already got a head start in terms of affordability, but what about real estate prices if you decide to buy something? Well, a residential composite home in Surrey is up about 140% in the last 10 years in value. This is all properties mixed into a blender and spitting out a percentage. If we look at the same number for homes in Vancouver, they're up about 41% in 10 years. Both great investments, obviously, but which ones perform better? I can give you a sec to think about it, or if you need to rewind it to check those numbers again, but I'll save you the time. Either way, the answer is Surrey. The last on our list of pros for living in Surrey is just how diverse Surrey really is. And I think some of these numbers are going to completely blow your mind. If you've heard of Surrey, you've looked up anything about Surrey, you've certainly been made aware about how diverse it is. But check these out. Did you know 23% of the Canadian population is made up of immigrants? How about this? How about 19% of Metro Vancouver's Indigenous population live in Surrey? What about the fact that 45% of Surrey residents are immigrants? This one's gonna get you. 38% of Surrey residents speak English as their second language. That is how diverse Surrey is, and it's awesome. So there you have 5 awesome reasons why Surrey is incredible. Those are the pros. Now it's time to be real with you. There's some cons, and I want you to be ready for them because they're real concerns. Got your notepad out? Ready? Let's go. The first con on our list is Surrey is absolutely humongous. Surrey's broken up into 6 main areas, and if you're curious about learning about those main areas, I'm going to post a video in the description. It looks just like this, and it's going into a deeper dive on the 6 main neighborhoods of Surrey and what they're all about and what you could expect in living in them. Because Surrey is so huge, this means you have incredibly diverse communities, and I'm not talking about ethnicity, I'm talking about just diversity generally all over Surrey. You cannot paint it with the same brush. Some areas have great transportation while others have bad. Some areas are easily accessible while others are not at all. Some areas have higher crime rates and some have lower crime rates. More on that later. You've also got some areas that are higher income and you've got some areas that are lower income. This is how big Surrey is. Surrey is about 316 square kilometers. If you compare that to Vancouver, Vancouver's only about 115 square kilometers. So it's almost 3 times the size. This means getting around can be a challenge sometimes. Sometimes you're not getting anywhere you need to go quickly, and you really need to know your neighborhoods if you're considering moving here. The second con on our list is, well, Surrey's still trying to make a name for itself and shake a bad rap from years past. So what do I mean by this? Google Surrey and you are going to get all sorts of articles and all sorts of comments and opinions about whether it's a good place to live or not and all the things that you could expect about living here. There's also going to be a lot of stuff about whether Surrey is a safe place to live, and hold tight because we're going to get to that shortly later on in this video. What I want to share with you now though is that all of the fun, all of the great attractions, all of the cool things to do, well, a lot of them are located out of the Surrey city boundaries unless you're looking for nature type related stuff. Let me expand on this. There's not a lot of road trip worthy niche restaurants in Surrey. There's also not a lot of major attractions in Surrey. Now, this could have been the case years ago. Our former Mayor Doug McCallum, as an example, had plans to build a 60,000 seat stadium in Surrey to bring in all sorts of different events, concerts, sports teams, you name it, but the idea got squashed. There was also a plan to transform the waterfront along the Fraser River into an incredibly cool community, complete with more housing and attractions, but that also got botched. Instead of being a really cool waterfront district, it's just remaining how it is for now anyways, with heavy industry like paper mills, warehouses, and port facilities. There is very few tourist hotspots to name in Surrey. To be honest, I really struggle of thinking of any other than maybe Bear Creek Park, which is pretty cool if you ever get to visit here. So be sure to check it out. It's really beautiful. There is almost no nightlife to speak of in Surrey. You've got to go into Vancouver for that sort of stuff. And you're also going to have to go into Vancouver or Burnaby for any sort of entertainment. There is entertainment in Surrey, but it's pretty small scale compared to what you will get in the big city. Number 3 on our list of cons is crime and gang activity in the city of Surrey. I promised you I'd get to this, and well, here we go. It all seems to happen in Surrey, right? You've been on Google, I'm sure you've read about this stuff, and we're going to dive deeper into it. Surrey ranks 15th in North America in the crime index, but 74th in the safety index and 36th in Canada. What does this all mean? According to the crime index, Surrey's crime is actually behind 5 other major cities in BC and ranked number 36 in Canada. But here's the interesting thing. We are the 11th largest municipality in Canada. So we rank number 36, but we're the 11th largest? Well, does that mean Surrey maybe really isn't quite as bad as we thought it was? We did a whole video on this where we did a deep dive about how safe Surrey really is, and we provided a ton of data for you. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Surrey, its crime rates, in comparison to other areas in North America and Canada, RCMP response times and major crime reporting, all that sort of stuff, I'm going to leave a link to this video in the description where you're going to want to check out all that information. Is Surrey perfect in terms of this stuff? Well, absolutely not. But I think after watching that video, you'll have a much better idea to get past all of the noise that you hear in the media. And at least that way you can make a really great decision once you got all that information. The 4th con on our list is Surrey is always under development. Construction is everywhere. You've got cranes, you've got road improvements, you've got new construction properties like condos and townhomes, you've got transit like the new SkyTrain coming in. There is construction absolutely everywhere in Surrey. You're going to want to plan for extra time anywhere you go, even if it's just a short drive in the city. And you're going to also want to be prepared that your community is likely going to look much different in the next 5, 10, and 15 years, especially with some of the recent announcements about what the BC government is trying to do to accelerate the construction of new housing stock. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm also going to link another video, which we did at the beginning of 2024 with our market predictions, and it looks just like this. That's going to be below in the description as well. But in that video, you can hear about all of the initiatives the BC government announced in 2024 to accelerate the housing stock and judge how that just might change the look of communities all across British Columbia. The last con and number 5 to wrap up our list is the city growth that we are experiencing. Now, this is somewhat similar to what I just mentioned, but I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into what I mean by city growth. The population of Surrey is estimated to be approximately 685,000 and will be coming in at 758,000 in the next 5 years. That's an increase of 73,000 people in only 5 years. So where are they all going to go? And where are all these homes coming from? And where are they all going to be put? That's an increase of nearly 11% of our population in 5 years. Well, it's really important that if you're thinking of relocating to Surrey, that you take a good look or work with somebody that has an extensive knowledge of what's happening in those 6 major hubs I mentioned earlier in terms of community planning, so you know exactly what sort of infrastructure and homes are going to be built in your community as you enjoy it. There you have it. You've got the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons about living in Surrey or moving to Surrey. And hopefully this video has left you in a better spot to be able to make a great decision about whether this is a place that you want to call home. Speaking of which, I promised you that I would let you know how the conversation ended with my client this morning. In the end, our client decided that they wanted to start their home search in the city of Surrey, and they were pretty committed to finding a home for their family before the end of this school year, heavily relying on us at the German group to help them pick the perfect neighborhood and avoid some of the cons or pitfalls that we went over in this video, which we're definitely excited to help them with. Does this sound a little bit like the situation you're in? Well, hopefully now you're ready to make the call of whether Surrey is a great place for you to call home as well. And if you're someone that's considering doing that, don't forget to book a time to speak with our team so we can help ensure that your move to a new neighborhood is a smooth one. As mentioned previously, be sure to check out our Living in Surrey playlist. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you're a local watching this video, did we nail them all? Did we get them all right? Was there anything we missed that we should let anybody moving to our community know that is awesome or that they should maybe reconsider before they come here? And if you're somebody from out of town and you want more information on the area or me to expand on about anything in this video, just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you personally. Hey, look, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.